Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ICC Division 1 Finals Extended. It was supposed to happen a couple of weeks ago. We had a couple of mix-ups, a couple of rulings came in, but we are back finally with this best of 5. It is Trinity versus Maynooth in this final. Trinity are going forward into this game with a one-game lead based off of the ruling made by the ICC admins. I am Mushin Bloodpeck Malloy, and joining me on this cast is Dawood Sandstorm. Dawood, how are you doing, Dawood?
I'm very excited, honestly, with all the mix-up, and especially with XJ not being on the main roster for the side of Maynooth Star Destroyer. They're not only missing their main jungler, they're also colors on the team. So definitely want to see how much this is going to affect the side of Maynooth Star Destroyer. And you can already see the Evelyn's going to be banned away from Razor, and the second ban targeted towards him should be the Shaco. I'm just waiting for them to take that. And of course, on the other side, you see the Trinity and the Nasus taken away from Red Spectre. And the Shaco's going to be left open, actually. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, well, so you guys know, if you are listening in, we are going to be doing the first 3 picks and bans, and then we're going to be remaking into the second ban phase, as we do not have the 5-ban system. Not as optimal as we want it to be, but there's not a huge amount we can do about that, so we have to go with the best we can. What we have, Ivor, going to be the last ban out there from Maynooth, to see what Red Spectre wants to pick up for Trinity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dorf has picked up the Ivern a couple of times, and the first time that we've actually seen him play was against Gazelle Gaming. First game he went 3-2-9, 1-6-15, kind of consistent with those scores, but he had only a certain amount of kind of pressure around the map, but not as much as you'd like from your jungler. Even when he actually picked up the Xin Zhao a couple of times before, there's only so much that he can do, because I'm just used to seeing Dorf on the Kha'Zix, on the Rengar, on something that's an assassin kind of jungler. That's what we're used to seeing him back all the way in Div 3, I believe, of G9 as well. And I definitely miss those days for him, but when I see him going back to the Ivern and to the Xin Zhao, I just think this is not his playstyle. This is not what he's actually comfortable with.
Yeah, we'll see now, guys. Let's see the Lulu being picked up first there. Lulu, very hotly contested. We are playing on the latest patch, which is 7.9, if I do remember rightly. New Rift Herald, new Sejuani, new Zac, new Maokai, new items, new GA, new everything. So it's going to be pretty damn interesting to see how these teams adapt to it. But Lulu looking like the safe pick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with all the changes in 7.9, you still don't see the change in the first pick or first ban, really, or rather last ban, if I'm not mistaken, from the red side. It's always the Lulu going to be first picked up for the side of the Mighty Ducks, because that's why they went with the Karma ban as well, because Karma is basically kind of like a weaker version of the Lulu in some aspect in the laning phase. But of course, later on, with all the shields that she can give, Karma can still be pretty OP, and that's why they wanted to take it away. But you can already see Maynooth Star Destroyer, they're immediately adapting. They're going with the Caitlyn, they're going with the Nami, and just the Caitlyn Nami can be such an aggressive lane. So I definitely want to see how Trinity are going to work around that sort of pick in the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Nami obviously blazes very, very comfortable on that champion. We are going to see now the last pick coming in. As we do say, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be seeing 3 bans, 3 picks, and then straight into a remake of the lobby just to get the last 2 bans and the last 2 picks. So everything you see on your screen is 100% locked and loaded. And we will keep you informed if anything changes upon that. But at the moment, looking pretty damn standard. We'll see what they want to pick up. I imagine they'll pick up the jungler on this rotation and then look to ban that out towards the side. But actually, they may look for their mid lane.
Yeah, they could go for Ari, giving it to Hal in the middle. Because here's the thing. If they either go with the jungler at this point, then they just risk a couple of bans going towards Howl in the mid lane. They could target his LeBlanc, target his Arya, target a Twisted Fate. They can just take out a couple of options and kind of limit the kind of what he's actually going to be doing in the game, exactly just by taking away certain champions and forcing him onto other ones. And you're going to see if Voynus is picking something random, because we're going to go with the remake regardless. But honestly, I want to talk a little bit about the Swain pick here coming up for Red Spectre, because every single time that we've actually seen him pick up or basically have the Trinity ban, have the Nasus ban taken away from him, I actually have no idea what the last pick is for the side of Maynooth over here.
Yeah, Alistair could be a placeholder. It also could be a pick up into that top side or the jungle, but we will be going out of this into a new pick and ban to get the last few bans and picks into this game. We do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We want to make it as close to the finals as we possibly can. Unfortunately, we don't all have access to tournament realm accounts, which hinder us pretty much pretty severely to be able to do that. So as we wait to see exactly what the teams go for. But at the moment, it is the bot lane secured for Maynooth, along with a potential Alistair, could be a placeholder. We will have to wait and see. And the Lulu and the Swain locked in as well as the, excuse me, I actually took a photo of it, believe it or not, because I was like, this is photo worthy.
It was Lulu, Swain, and
Victor. That was it.
Victor, that was the one.
Yes, that was it. So Swain up most likely up on the top side. Victor going to go into the mid lane. Lulu down in that support. So still AD carry and jungler to pick up there for the side of Trinity, who, again, ladies and gentlemen, are 1-0 up in this best of 5.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I'm looking at the Victor scores. Of course, previously for Hawkins, he went, I believe, 8-0-9 in their first game against Geek Squad. He also picked it up again against GamerCon Rejects. He went 6-4-9. So he has a kind of a consistent score himself on the Victor, and kind of works really well with the kind of composition that the team goes for. They always want to have some sort of wave clear on the team. You don't want to be kind of lacking in that area, because if you just lack in the wave clear department, there you're just going to have issues when you're getting sieged upon. It's not going to be easy for you to wave clear unless you actually put yourself at risk. Then you get picked off. Then you lose even more than just the one objective. So definitely going for something very good at the start of this big ban phase so far.
Yeah, we're just getting information there, ladies and gentlemen. The Alistair was actually, in fact, a placeover for Galio, and the face when, just
how does he not have Galio?
I was just about to say, you diamond, but you don't own Galio? Come on, man. That's like I think he's like a 1350 champ or something in terms of IP. Yeah. He's not expensive to pick up.
Like, I'm just a lonely plat, and I have all the champions.
Yeah, just doing all the champions. We are going to see, though, the last few bans coming in here from the side of DCU Trinity. I see DUC and I'm just like, oh, that must mean DCU. They are going to be banning out Jinx and Ari against Maynooth, and we'll see what Maynooth want to reply with. Again, guys, we do apologize for the kind of weird setup that we got going on right now. We're trying to keep it as close to the regular game as we possibly can.
Why was the Jinx spent away from Maynooth when Void already picked up the Caitlyn Nami for the bottom lane?
Not quite sure, but we'll wait and find out.
Okay, this is something new completely.
This could be a brand new strat.
Carry, but I don't care. I'm still taking another 80 carry away. Just the kind of flip table emoji. Throw that in there.
Yeah, we gotta see Kazakhs. Oh wait, I'm not quite sure what Dorf is trying to tell us right now in the chat. I can see little things popping up, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what's being banned. And thank you, Dawood, our investigative journalist, is finding out who's banning what and how this is working out. Because guys, we're not gonna lie to you, we're just as confused as you are right now. But we are hoping to get this sorted ASAP. Bring you guys a pretty good match, but let's call a spade a spade. It's pretty confident that Maynooth are going to come out of this 3-1 after a 3-0 sweep, hypothetically. I'm not quite sure if Dawood is still with me or not, but I will keep going on as we go back into... Oh, there you are. You muted yourself.
Yes, I done doodly did. It's because I was typing. I didn't want everyone to hear, but yeah, the band stuff. I think it was the Jinx and the Kazakhs banned by Maynooth towards Trinity, and it was the LeBlanc and the Kazakhs banned away from the side of Maynooth.
Very, very good. So we have now got a full set of bans, I think. 100% picked up now. But knowing these players, knowing this kind of style of messiness that can come out sometimes, I do think someone's going to pick up something that they shouldn't have and might have already been quote-unquote banned. But like we said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep you updated as best we can and hopefully get this game underway. And again, what are we thinking about Maynooth right now? Like they have lost XJ, but Razor not exactly a downgrade at all. Really, he has got maybe a little bit more of a limited champion pool, but that's kind of about it. And the only thing I've ever kind of said negatively about Razor is that he is a fantastic player until he goes to LAN and plays at LAN, and then LAN nerves just hit him hard. But we're not at LAN. He's at home in his pajamas. He's feeling great. He's on his computer.
You assume he's in his pajamas, okay?
Always assume.
Yeah, you never assume. But also, you're definitely right. There are certain... We can't, of course, forget the Stark land buffs as well. Online, he has the opposite. As Razor, online, he does just terrible. And at LAN, something happens. He gets some godly gift and just destroys everyone. But it's other side for Razor, unfortunately. But definitely going to be something special here because, as we said, yes, XJ is missing. They were missing some sort of shot calling. They're missing their main jungler. And definitely this is the first time that they're actually playing with this sort of roster where Razor's actually in the jungle and Falnov is still top and Howl, of course, is still in the mid lane. So definitely something special going on here. And I love the Zed pick here coming up for Howl.
Howl plays two champions, Zed and Ari, and that's all he plays. That's literally
Yes.
it. And if you can ban one, you go against the other. And honestly, it's a really cool pickup, and it's really fun to see. Obviously, very lot of potential for outplays. My issue with the Zed right now is you're picking a Galio and a Caitlyn into kind of a siege team fighting comp that you want to team fight with. Zed's more of a pick comp oriented mid laner. I don't know how well that's going to synergize with the Maynooth team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely something special rather coming out from these guys because, as you said, different kind of composition. Meanwhile, House is going for something on his own. Maybe he has something in mind that he kind of wants to implement later on into the game. Because looking at the lineup already, there's a massive amount of AP damage coming out from the side of Trinity at this point. You got the Victor, the Swain, the Lulu. That is a lot of AP. Even the ultimate coming out from the Ezreal, the True Shot Barrage is a little bit of an AP damage as well. So Galio is just going to have a field day this game. And honestly, they only need the one tank against this sort of team. But what is actually going to get picked up in the jungle? That's what we're waiting for. The Shaco is available. That's his second most played champion. He does have the Elise left. He does have the Zac, the Maokai, the Sejuani. As you said, we're on this new patch. There's all these new changes coming out. And yeah, he might be going for the Elise because honestly, you need something early pressure. You need something early game to kind of counter the fact that Graves can also do that as well.
Yeah, I actually really, really like the Graves pickup here from the side of Trinity, purely for the fact that, yes, like you said, huge amount of magic damage coming out. The Swain is going to be able to push back the Galio, but the kind of standard build for Galio before his nerfs, this is, by the way, guys, this is post-nerf Galio, so he's not able to build triple Dorans and then one-shot the backline with his, I think it's his W, excuse me. Winds War, yes. And it's going to be interesting to see how Falinov plays this lane because Swain should be constantly pushing up, but that leaves Razor an opening to try and gank this Swain. But the Graves pickup, back to my original point, is so smart because if they can get a small advantage into that top side or into the mid lane with the Victor, they can push down turrets very, very well. They're not going to win bot lane. Lulu Ezreal just will not beat a Nami Caitlyn, but all they have to do is play their part and survive. So I like the Graves. He's going to be most likely playing towards that top side of the jungle and trying to make plays in the solo lanes.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, just to talk a little bit more actually about the Swain pick, he's picked it up a couple of times because every time Trinity and Nasus has been banned away, two other picks that he's always picked up. It was either the Vladimir or the Swain. And honestly, his scores aren't really the best. He does have a kind of a hard time with that champion. And we were talking about, of course, the Graves pickup, but you can't forget Graves did receive a nerf before where his True Grit no longer stacks MR. So he doesn't get that benefit against with trading against something like the Evelyn or the Elise. So this time it's going to be even easier for Elise to get the early advantage if she manages to catch out the Graves in his own jungle and get that burst on and just maybe slow down his clear or make sure that he doesn't apply that much pressure towards the top side of the map. Give Falinov a little bit of breathing room. That could just make it so much easier for the side Maynooth Star Destroyer. So it's kind of like these tiny advantages that could go either way. But it definitely is going to come down to who's going to have the early lead, who's going to have the better pressure, and who's just going to have the better communication at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's all about kind of communication, where the junglers go, and kind of, what happens really in this early game. Like you said, Elise should be able to out 1v1 at level 3 the Graves. However, as you say, only the magic resistance was hit by the True Grit. So Zed, Caitlyn, Galio to an extent doesn't really build AP anymore. You kind of build them true tank as much. And that's just going to be so much more for the Graves to kind of do it. That's kind of another reason why I love this Graves pickup for the side of Trinity. It also gives them great turret pressure as well if there's a bad rotation on the side of Maynooth.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, like with the changes rather ages ago to lethality, you've always seen the Graves now go for the Phantom Dancer, Black Cleaver sort of build with, of course, Warrior Skirmishes, Saber, of course. For the Graves. So it definitely can be pretty strong in the early game as well. And later on, it just makes it so much easier for him to kite, deal a lot of damage. It makes it easier for the Ezreal to deal a lot of damage as well, since he has the Black Cleaver. And with how his bullets actually work, he can just instantly get the 6 procs, or the 5 procs rather, from the Black Cleaver. It's a total of 6, but he gets 5 by the end of it. And just manages to shred so quickly, and it just makes it easier because Ezreal never buys a Black Cleaver. And just that extra little bit of help that comes up from the Graves is going to go and just help him in so many ways, and definitely something that could work here in favor of Trinity. But honestly, we can't forget, one game has been played between both these teams. Yes, it is a 1-0 for Trinity, but of course, because it was a forfeit, because of their ruling, of course, coming out from the ICE, but it was a 25-minute game coming out from the side of Maynooth, and it was just destruction everywhere, and Trinity just couldn't do anything about it from what I've seen. And of course, slight change in the roster for the side of Maynooth, but here's the thing: is it actually going to change how the game is going to go? For my opinion, I hardly doubt it.
Yeah, I'd be a bit skeptical myself as well, considering you look at the kind of like damage over time. kind of damage that Swain looks to build as well. Adaptive Helm, one of the new items that was brought in 7.9, is so good at just nullifying any kind of like long kind of, what was this kind of subsequent magic damage that can come out as well. So Galio builds that. Swain doesn't win that matchup, gets taunted, Elise comes up for the kill. That can be a huge issue right there. That's why we've seen the decline of Rumble. They've seen the decline of people like Kennen to an extent, Cassiopeia as well. Those kind of spam champions, Rise as well has taken a bit of a hit from it. Those spammy champions that constantly throw out the same ability over and over and over and over. That's the kind of thing that's not really going to work in this kind of mid game. And Swain does hit mid game pretty hard, but he doesn't scale amazingly well into the late. He's very easily kiteable, and once you get those kind of executioner's callings and all those kind of grievous wounds items onto the players of Maynooth, so difficult for him to stay in fights.
Yeah, and here's the thing I actually want to touch on real quick. With Adaptive Helm, how it actually works, isn't it that with every consequent spell, like the same exact spell, the damage gets reduced by 12%, if I'm not mistaken.
15% for 4 seconds.
15% for 4 seconds with
and
every single spell.
I'm the play-by-play caster.
Well, this is what I was going to get to the point, right? Rise isn't really hit that much by it because he doesn't use spam Q every single time. He always combos. He always changes with his combo. He doesn't constantly spam the one spell. But with the likes of Cassiopeia, she's the one that constantly spams her Twin Fangs, and that I believe that's kind of a little bit of a difference. But yes, he's been hit a little bit, but not as much as the likes of Cassiopeia and Swain, as you said.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see how this affects everyone, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the Rift, but the lights are off and nobody's home. We will wait to see if the players jump into this. I hope to see them very, very soon. But
someone knocking on the doors of the Rift. There we go.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally onto the Rift for Game 1. Oh, or technically Game 2.
Game 1.2.
ICC Division 1 finals between Trinity and Maynooth. Are Trinners winners or Maynooth the better college of the two? And we'll have to see an immediate pause. Not quite sure what the reasoning is just yet. And they have unpaused the game. We are back.
Woo!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm happy. Okay, we're actually back. I've been waiting for this for actually quite some time. The last time these games were played were on the 29th of April. That's almost exactly 2 weeks ago from now. So definitely excited to see what's actually going to happen because the champions, of course, of Division 1, definitely a prestigious title for a college to have. So definitely excited to see what both these teams have to offer. And you can already see a little bit of a line of scrimmage between both these teams. Not as clear for the side of Trinity, but Maynooth definitely spreading every single place to make sure that no shenanigans happens. And honestly, Voina could be in a better place if he wasn't in that bush or just spotting out the tri-bush. Maybe some shenanigans could have happened there, but I doubt it because there's no hard CC coming up from either of these teams at the beginning, unless of course plays start out with Bubble, which I highly doubt.
Yeah, not great level 1 from anyone here as such. You could.
There's no Thresh.
Yeah, there's no Thresh. There's no Braum. There's no Alistair, unfortunately.
Blitz.
Even though we didn't have any kind of great level 1s as such. And no LeBlanc, can start Ethereal Chain and go for that.
Yeah, but that hurts her massively in the face, though.
It's but if you get the kill from it, then the actual experience you gain isn't actually that bad. So it's one of those kind of weird missteps that you need to kind of just make sure that you're playing properly. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that isn't what we're here to do today. We are just waiting to see how these teams play out, and if Maynooth can continue a dominating fashion like they did at the Game 1 of the ICC Championship.
2.
No. I meant Game 1, the original Game 1.
The original Game 1, the OG
the one where
Game 1.
They actually played, and Bat Racid already taking a huge
Look at this trade. Look at this trade. This is just insane. Literally level 1, already forcing a cookie out of Bat Racid at the beginning, and this is just the kind of play that we're expecting from the side of Trinity, Maynooth rather, not Trinity.
Yeah, well, they do trade it back a little bit. Blaze getting a little bit overconfident. Hasn't popped a biscuit just yet.
We'll have to ebb and flow, so he'll be able to heal a lot better. Of course, Bat Racid on the Lulith doesn't really have that. And there you go. Every time he's going to go for those trades, he's going to be able to go for the ebb and flow, go for the auto attack, and then just gets the Thunder Alerts if he actually has it, which I don't believe he does, actually. But he's just going to get that extra heals. But look at this early aggression from Voina and Blaze. This is what we were talking about when I said, oh, it's going to be a Caitlyn Nami lane. It is just so aggressive, so much trading. But here comes Dorf.
There is a very early heal as well. Blaze does get out alive.
Oh!
pushing Ted Blonde. Calm yourself, Dawood. It's not quite dead just yet.
He's gonna flash headshot. If he actually had that, that would have been a flash headshot. So
But
I'm getting ready. See, it could have been. You gotta expect the unexpected.
Got to expect the unexpected as a caster, yes, but we have to wait and see. Already, like you said, some decent pressure being put down here by the Maynooth bot lane, and kind of hard to see how Ted Blonde and Batras would really come into their own here, especially considering how much they're being pushed up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but here's the thing, right? If you expect the unexpected, is the unexpected actually unexpected?
Now you're delving into things that no one should ever delve into, my friend. But
it's like that Velociraptor meme. That's what I'm thinking of when I say this. It's like, if you're waiting on the waiter, are you the waiter?
Yeah. Mind blown. I will be expecting a pretty aggressive trade there coming out from the bot lane. As we say, it's very, very difficult for them to really get anything on the side of Trinity, so they're just going to have to survive, like I talked about in the picks and bans. We'll wait to see exactly what's going on. And already we're seeing a bit of a CS lead, only 4 minutes in, coming out for Voina. And this is a kind of scary thing that you see that comes out from these players on the side of Maynooth. They just build advantages, and it doesn't matter if you don't die, because they're still getting the advantages from those small little things.
Oh,
and as I say that, Graves getting a nice little bit of damage. We just see an Arcane Shift aggressive. There's a good bubble, though. He'll use. There's the exhaust of the Blaze. First blood over to him. He flashes away. Double flash there. And Lulu picks up a kill. It's the bloodthirsty supports in the bot lane as they trade 1-for-1. But crucially, first blood going over to Maynooth.
Yeah, Blaze getting the kill with the last tick of Ignite, of course, onto Ted Blunt there. And here's the thing, it's actually still better for Maynooth, because, yes, your support died, but their AD carry is the one that died as well. So your AD carry is going to be able to get more XP, more farm, and Ted Blunt's going to be losing even more. He's going to be 10 CS behind. And with the way that the wave is actually going, he's still going to be able to farm up under his turret. First back isn't even going to be a tier. That's how bad it is going to be for the side of Trinity here. And oh boy, here comes Hawkins.
Oh, meme, here goes
Razor.
Hawkins, but here comes Razor and Howl. He drops down the gravity field, flashes away. Howl has used Ignite is still ticking. The Raptors not going to do anything, but in the end it will be a kill. Now Dorf's in a bad position. No flash on him. Cocoon goes wayward, and everyone's coming into this party. Double kill for the Zed, and it's all of a sudden all falling apart already for the side of Trinity as Maynooth take a commanding 1.5 thousand gold lead in this first opening 5 minutes.
And this is just not the start that you're looking for if you're Trinity, because we were talking about, yes, Hawkins is going to be able to wave clear, and how later on is going to be able to assassinate people. So he's the one person you really don't want to feed, and then 5 minutes in you give him a double kill. And he already, at this point, he has 1,800 gold in his pockets. He can come back with a Hex Drinker and even more.
Yep, he's got so much to kind of work with now, and this is the kind of problem. Like, we're looking at the reason, why isn't Victor really in the meta right now?
Boy, here we go!
That the all-in goes in. Howl does take a tower shot, pops Hawkins down to about just below half, but he wasn't really able to kill him there. A bit close underneath the tower, but he is putting pressure onto Hawkins, who is farming up fairly decently under the tower. Should be fine to pick up majority of those minions. Yeah. Be able to continue his CS. Not kind of equal. Well, yeah, it's kind of an equal CSing to the Zed.
Yeah, only 2 CS behind, or a couple of CS ahead. Not really going to be a big issue for Hal. He does have those 2 beefy kills that he got. And look at that. He went actually for a Coldfield's Warhammer, and he also went for a Serrated Dark. So he's going to have that early lethality, that early movement speed as well, with that cooldown reduction. And we all know cooldown reductions for Zed is just beautiful. Just keep spamming those spells even more. And look at towards that bot lane. He has 10 CS lead, and he still has a cannon and a couple more minions to pick up for Voina here. And also, this is just not looking good at all for Ted Blunt. And still, it's 7 minutes in, and he doesn't have the tier. He does have enough gold for it now, but it would be a risk to get it back since the wave is in that position, because at that point, Voina would be able to freeze the lane, and it's just going to kill Ted Blunt. It's just going to deny him so much more farm, so much more XP, and you're already behind. And you're kind of a mid to late game AD carry. When you get that Mirror Mana, or Mana Mune rather, when you get that Triforce, when you just get so many items are able to dish out so much damage. But the thing is, it's going to be too late at that point when you're already this far behind.
Yep, it really is. And Maynooth, with XJ, I can see him in the Twitch chat. He's watching on. He's watching his team, and he's going to be judging every move, especially Blaze. And he's seeing his team do very well, except Blaze is feeding. Has that one death, so,
but he does have the one kill as well.
That doesn't negate it. Every good support knows that.
Yeah, true.
But, you know, it's so difficult. Look at the aggressive warding coming out as well from Maynooth. They know what they can do, and they're always doing it when they're pushed up. Look where Galio is right now. He pushed up the lane up topside, went back, picked up his triple Dorans, and now it looks like it's going to be a four-man stack on his top side. Dorf gonna see Razor get stunned up. Razor now in a little bit of a bad position. Oh, there it is. The ace in the hole gonna pick up the first kill. Razor jumps in on top of that. There is Hero's Punch as he goes in, gets the taunt onto the Lulu, who's stunned up by the bubble. Nice CC chaining there as the Ignite goes down onto Templon. Cocoon goes to the side, but it doesn't matter as it is a perfectly executed dive. Minion wave right up to the tower. It's going to be 3 kills for none, and the first tower going over to Maynooth.
Yeah, again, this is what we're talking about, the communication coming out from the side of Maynooth. It is just insanely beautiful. The turret dive was perfect, just currently switching the aggro from the turret, making sure no one gets so much damage. They get the first break gold as well, which is extremely helpful. 30 CS lead for Voyner right now, along with an extra kill, along with an extra assist, and he's going to make sure that he pushes that wave. And at that point, again, a couple more minions are going to die towards the turret, and Telpron's going to fall even further behind. He finally gets to pick up the tier now, 9 minutes into the game. And that's just going to delay his spike to about 26, 27 minutes into the game when he actually has that I'm going with the stack. There we go. Fully stacked tier. I'm searching for that word. I have problems.
It's okay, dude. We all have those issues.
English is hard. Okay, English is hard. But it's like those kind of things. And look at this. The fact that they have the objective control all around the map. They took the first break gold. They took the dragon. Yes, it's a cloud. It doesn't matter. But Dorf's in danger.
Dorf is in a little bit of danger. Was knocked airborne by Fallon there. It's going to be a good bit of damage traded back, though. Dorf might feel like he can get it. And there we go. Dawood doing his best FaZe fanboy impression as he goes off, kicks up the kill. And that is going to be a little bit of an overextension from Fallon. Really didn't have the support to kind of go for that. And kind of disrespected the fact that, you know, Graves has that damage at level 6.
Yeah, and he forgot the fact that, of course, Dorf is level 6. He had the collateral damage. He had to execute just to help him out there, and kind of a little bit greedy. And this is the kind of problem with these sort of teams. They get the early lead, but they think, oh, I can do what I want. But hold a second. Is it me or did Batrasu just crit hell? Does he have crit runes?
Possibly. We'll have to ask him after the match, and we'll have to wait and see.
I saw a 99 damage crit, and reminds like, wait.
Always run that 1%.
It's always that 1%. But on supports? It's like, really?
It's definitely one of those things, but it did 99 damage. That could be, you know, that could be the difference. That could be the difference. It's a stretch now, Daru. Come on now. But we do see the lane swap, and we see this from so many good teams as well in LCS level. They'll swap up their dual lane after taking the first tower in the bot lane, right up to that top side, continue the pressure, pick up themselves a good rotation, and 2 towers now in the lead as they nearly have about 4,500 gold lead. And honestly, it's them going from strength to strength right now. There's not really a huge amount on the side of, you know, Trinity that can really do at this moment. They kind of just have to hope to scale.
Yeah, definitely. And look at this, Razor making the call to go for the Herald, making sure that they have a good amount of wave clear now, or rather a good amount of vision now. Here's the thing, with the new Rift Herald, of course, get the kill, spawn the Rift Herald in the mid lane, considering the top lane turret's down, the bottom lane tier 1s, of course, are down as well. And considering that you have Hawkins in the mid lane who can wave clear, that would be the next target for you. Get that next turret going. And look at this, the Rift Herald definitely going to get secured here. And again, Maynooth just dominating the map, controlling every single objective.
Yep, they're doing a very, very good job of just making sure that everything is kept under their roof. It's all theirs, everyone's house. And now where they want to go with this Rift Herald, that's the question as we see.
Oh, but Rastard!
Not quite. Oh, Cocoon too early there from Razor. Ends up following his own Cocoon as we wait to see how the side of Trinity react. Maynooth a little bit sloppy there on that engage.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, I think Razor actually tried to do the RE trick where you charm and flash, and the charm actually gets picked up from where you flash to, sort of thing. But it just didn't work on the Cocoon that time. He could have actually flashed and then went for the Cocoon. Might have been able to secure the kill. Might have been able to push down a little bit harder. But he's still holding out on to the Rift Herald, and there it is. It is going to be coming out with all that HP. It should be able to knock it right out of the water, or out of the land rather.
They should be able to get this tower down
with full
easily.
HP. The damage actually... Yeah, there you go. Just a one shot. What is that? That's the thing with the Herald. The more HP it has, the more damage it actually does to turrets. And look at this. Again, it's just dashing to the second one, It's gonna get taken down, but it still applied a good amount of damage before going, and it did its purpose.
Yeah, I know. I just want to say, like, I know he's trying to do the Ari, cute, charm into flash and everything like that. That doesn't actually work. From someone who played Elise a lot, that doesn't actually work on Elise, and it's just not something you need to go for. You need the flash, then cocoon. It's the only way to do it, and honestly, it's still pretty easy to do as well. So it's kind of your bread and butter. I'm not quite sure why Razor didn't give that over to Voina, but nonetheless, they do end up picking himself up.
Wanted it. I mean,
yeah, everyone wanted it.
It's like, hey, I called dibs, okay?
Yeah, that was just the
I
way
wanted it. It's like kids. It's just no. Everyone's fighting for it.
I wonder if you had like a Ziggs and a Rift Herald at full health, could you one-shot a turret?
No. Oh Jesus.
That would be cool. Like Ziggs satchel charge.
It would be broken. It would be so broken.
Of course, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So like I read this thing about this new dragon that might be coming up, a Vision Dragon, right? This is just a quick story here. Vision Dragon, that would be a nice idea, but I thought of another dragon, right? A gold per second dragon. It increases your gold per second with every dragon, of course, scaling.
That's why TF's global gold passive was taken away. That's broken.
No, here's the thing, right? In the early game, it would be broken as hell, and both teams would be fighting for it, but late game, it's useless.
Provided you say useless, but
well,
like if you
have six items. Wait,
got to touch off very quickly though. Tedblon gonna get hit up there with the ignite and the ultimate. Actually, Howl, a little bit of a situation where he might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. Tedblon did use flash and heal as Howl used flash ignite, but neither of them go down in that exchange. But mid lane now under pressure from Voina and Blaze. And this is the thing, Maynooth are just out macroing right now. They're putting pressure on all the lanes. They have good vision, deep inside the Trinity jungle. And ooh, I feel like Blaze could have stolen that had he put the ward into the blue pit. But gotta say right now, Maynooth, they're making sure that Trinners are not winners right now. As we see, as I say that though, Dorf gonna be caught up, but is it he who is baiting? As we see Blaze now backing away. Razor trying to push back into this fight. Flash there used by Dorf just to get away from Razor's Q in spider form. Batrastard taking very low after popping the wild growth. We see Fadanoff now fighting off with Red Spectre to keep him away from this engage in the mid lane. And while that was all happening, Howl down on the bot side picking up that turret. Infernal Drake has also spawned.
Oh boy.
It's looking like it's going to be pretty damn standard as 2 more turrets fall and a dragon to follow. Maynooth pretty much going to stomp this one at 15 minutes. And I feel like if you're Trinity, you got to come out. You got to come out with some kind of Gigabyte Marine stuff. Go for a lane swap. Go for some crazy plays that most of the time don't work, but for some reason they work out.
Here's the thing. They work because no one sees them coming. It's beautiful. I love watching the Gigabyte Marines. Literally everything they do is so wacky, and just no one expects those kind of plays, and it's just beautiful to see the fact that they actually work out, because no one plans to deal with those kind of plans, or no one actually thinks about, oh no, they should be doing this now. But they're like, instead of going for bot lane turret, you know what, no, we're just gonna run it down mid, and before they secure 2 turrets, and you're just sitting there like, how did they do this? That's Gigabyte Marines. I love it. It's beautiful.
It's the thing of like, what meta, and then they just kind of do whatever the hell they want to do. Exactly. That's the kind of way they work, which is great to watch, and it's such a spectacle as well. But as we said, it is a little bit more of a kind of, it's awesome. It can work. If it doesn't work, you can fall behind really, really, really quickly. And at 16.5 minutes, we see Voina with an IE and a Runans.
Oh, boy.
All of a sudden, this is not looking good for the side of Trinity. Maynooth and
Tedblon. No summoners.
No summoners. No health bar, and now he's looking at a gray screen as a pretty easy kill. But again, no towers, no vision. He should not be pushed up that far, and that's not even the Zed being fed. That's just another poor play. Again, pushed up, no vision. You have no control over your own jungle. You should not be pushed up that far from the side of Trinity.
Look at Voina though.
Yep, he's going to force out. Good flash. Forces the flash and the exhaust out from the side of the Lulu and the Victor. That's going to be more and more summoners blown, and you just got to feel like this is just a kind of a ticking time bomb right now until, kind of...
Look at Butler! Look at Howl!
I was just about to say, until Maynooth actually cracked the base.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? You're thinking, oh, Maynooth should go for Baron. It's 17 minutes 30. There is no Baron yet.
They've already used Rift Herald, so my god, that damage is huge with Duskblade and the Yomu. So.
Yeah, and the Thunderblords. He literally...
Did you call it Thunderblords?
Thunderblords, yes, Thunderblords.
Thunderblords.
Thunderblords, Argo.
But yeah, again, it's so difficult for the side of Trinity really to do. What is, if they were to find any kind of way back into this, what is it?
Not play against Maynooth. Danny, you see, actually not playing, not enough. You gotta get a whole new Maynooth lineup if they actually need to get some. Because look at this, 18 minutes and 2 inhibitor turrets are gone, and oh boy.
Here we go. This could be the final fight as ultimates are being expelled left, right, and center. There's not much left there as Razor picks up the kill onto the Victor. Falinov, though, forced to get the heal out of Voina to keep him alive. As Howl and Razor now in a little bit of a bad situation. The Ignite goes down onto Red Spectre from Howl. Hasn't got quite enough auto attacks or cooldown reduction to keep him getting that kill, but they are going to pick up another inhibitor. Second inhibitor goes down 18, nearly 19 minutes into the game. Gotta feel like this is just going to be, you know, wipe this one off the slate. Think about next game from the side of Trinity. And honestly, like I said, you got to go Gigabyte Marines on this. You have to try something crazy. Go new. Look for those early dragons. Do something. Because right now, standard means you lose.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, look at this. It's a 13? Almost 12.5 thousand gold lead, 19 minutes in favor, of course, of Maynooth Star Destroyer. 10 kills to 2. Infernal and Cloud Drake with the Barons coming up in 45 seconds. This is what I see happening. Push up the lanes, get the Baron, run it down mid or run it down top. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what lane you're going to go through. With that Baron buff, with those super minions, you can get the first game quicker than the actual first game that they played at the LAN. I think that's their target. Oh, Hawkins, oh boy.
Hawkins does get the gravity field down, which nullifies a lot of that damage, as we see Rex Spectre was popping over to try and help him out. Hell, not quite getting that damage down as much as he likes. Actually ends up going with Berserker Greaves. I actually dislike that build, purely for the fact that your Ionian Boots of Lucidity are just so much more... They're just so much better for you to get your kind of combos off. You go for abilities, you're not really much of an auto attacker unless you're going split pushing, which it's kind of done now. You know, you don't need to split push anymore. He's got the 10% cooldown reduction from the Yomus, but apart from that, nothing really else. As we see Bat Rastard caught up, stunned up, and that's going to be Baron at 20 minutes going over to Maynooth.
Wait, is this an instinct game? What? 20-minute Baron Sharks, where are you? Yeah, it looks like Baron is definitely going to be going over to the side of Maynooth. Uncontested, of course, because the Mighty Ducks, not so mighty, honestly, at this point. They're just getting destroyed left, right, and center, every single lane, all over the map. And everyone's definitely going to fall any second now. There it is. No XJ smites this game as well, so the memes are all dead.
No memes left. Only Voina crushing your hopes and dreams.
Oh no! Give Voina Kog'Maw, and then you'll see hopes and dreams get
Actually, what I must say is right, and this is just off of right now. Obviously, Voina would be the kind of a quote-unquote star player, but at the moment, Howl is higher in CS and kills. So I'm honestly gonna say Voina.
Same KDA though. Same KDA.
Yeah, just about, but kills are all that really matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Same KDA. It's a 5 KDA for both of them. 0 deaths.
That is true, but I would much rather have 3 kills than have 4 assists. As we see now, there goes the ultimate from Galio as everyone just started to jump in. This could be the final fight for Trinity as they try and keep everyone there. Razor, though, taken very low, but not low enough as Howl picks himself up. One more kill, 4-0 and 2. The turrets are now falling. Nexus turrets are getting knocked down by the super minions. Third inhibitor will be going down as well. As we see flashes, there's Howl going in absolute ham mode. He gets exhausted. He doesn't quite pick up a kill, but the taunt lands onto the Victor, which secures him over to the side of Maynooth. They're going to finish this one out with a massive army of minions. Teleport comes in for show, and that is going to be game 2 of this best of 5 going over to Maynooth. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Maynooth definitely making a statement. XJ or no XJ, we're still going to destroy you 5 minutes or less. We still got this. And honestly, it's just, I expected Maynooth to just completely obliterate the Mighty Ducks, but not this bad. This was just, this was SKT going up against, I'm trying to think of the team at Worlds when they got like a quadra kill or like 4 kills at the beginning of the game with a cheesy invade. I don't even know, but that's the kind of game that I actually saw. And by the way, Voina actually had Executioner's Calling, which made Red Spectre even more useless, but my God, this is definitely, honestly, Maynooth coming out with a show of force in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with game quote-unquote 3 in a few minutes. quick break, get this second game set up, or second game of the day set up, and we'll be back to you as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere.